Hey, what's going on, everybody? And welcome back to the first look series here on College Football Red Zone, where I take a holistic look at all 138 programs of the FBS ranks, taking that look from a 50,000 feet perspective, not only just letting you know maybe some of the notable departures and notable additions for each program, but also to give my thoughts in terms of my record prediction as of how things stand in the springtime as I'm recording this video. So hopefully you guys are excited for this one, as today we jump into the 111th ranked team in all of college football. And with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoy this one. If you do, make sure you go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well if you do happen to be brand new to the channel. And with that being said, man, let's go ahead and get right into it. We got the Nevada Wolfpack. We're actually going to stay in the Mountain West for this one, who comes in as the 111th ranked team in college football. I do have them, in fact, slightly higher ranked than San Jose State, and it is, in fact, going to be that Nevada Wolfpack, who, under Jeff Chody, only has won 6 games in his 2 full seasons with the Wolfpack, but we did see a team in the month of November that showed some signs of progress, and that was evident when they absolutely blew out San Jose State in the month of November. And so the overall direction of this program is a reason why I think that this team is in a positive direction, and I think this year this team is going to be better than what it was last season. And while the biggest question I think for me is going to be how are they going to improve on the offensive side of the ball? Because I don't think that there's really any notable additions that they brought in from the transfer portal from that production or even being like a highly touted guy, even. I do think that the defense is going to be better. And a big reason for that is for Dylan La, LaBarberie. He was a first team all conference player for this Wolfpack last year at the edge. Was one of the best edge rushers of this conference last year. And he is back with the Wolfpack this year, which is great because they did end up losing his teammate in Jonathan McDonald, who transferred to Ole Miss, and he had a solid year with the Wolfpack last season. Had 5 sacks in the 2025 campaign, but even then, I still think that you look at this defensive side of the ball, I think the defense is going to be elevated to a point where there is now a ceiling that exists where we can see Nevada make their first bowl game under Jeff Chody, because they did add not one, but multiple players that were highly touted high school recruits when they were going through the recruiting process in high school. It hasn't fully worked out, but they have. You can say about this team is, hey, there's room for them now that they might have opportunities in place to come out and do something special here in their in a new environment. And those two guys that I'm talking about specifically both play in the secondary. Selman Bridges transfers in from Arkansas, for example, was part of that fallout from the firing of their previous head coach. So needed to find a new home because didn't really vibe out with Ryan Silverfield when he came in. So he left the program. Is here now with in Reno, Nevada, to hang out with this Nevada football team going into this season as a corner, which makes you wonder, as a guy that didn't play very much last year, how much can he actually bring to the table? Because famously, Arkansas was one of the worst defenses in college football last season, just from a pure statistical standpoint. And the fact that he didn't get on the field too terribly much is a little bit of a warning sign. But hey, in a new environment, going down to the G6 ranks, he's going to have a legitimate shot to earn himself some legitimate playing time moving forward. They did also bring in Larry Turner Gooden, who plays at safety, was also a 4-star recruit coming out of high school in his own right. He transfers in from San Jose State, someone that didn't play a lot for the Spartans last year, but the defense was, another place where the San Jose defense was not that great. So I don't know how much you're going to get out of Larry Turner Gooden because he came from another G5 spot and he didn't play very much at that G5 spot last year either. But again, a former highly talented high school recruit, the talent is still in there. It's just, can he finally, in his new spot, can he finally go out and finally live up to gets his high school tutelage under Jeff Chody? And this is a big year for him as well. We talked about how this is the third season. They showed some flashes last year, but they need to definitely show a little bit more progress than 3-9. Because I would imagine if they aren't at least close to a bowl game, we could be seeing a new coaching staff in place because only winning nine-ish games in 3 years, I don't think is going to be acceptable given how quick it has been at certain spots that we have seen the turnaround. And that's not just what we've seen from Indiana with Kirk Cinetti. We've seen this song and dance really around the country as well. UNLV being a more recent example, I would say, just in terms of quick turnarounds within the G5. So, with that noted, because we don't know what to expect from his offense this upcoming season. Let's go ahead and take a look at that schedule for the Nevada Wolfpack going into this year. And this is what I'm seeing from Nevada going into it. There is a scenario in place where they can compete with a lot of these teams that are on their schedule right now. I think there's a world where they finish above 500, not only in conference play, but is able to win a couple of games in non-conference action and get themselves to bowl eligibility because of that. Actually, have a little bit of a breakout year. 8-4 is definitely possible for Nevada if we do see the offense take off and show some consistency. We saw the flashes in the pan last year, like when they had that 50 burger to San Jose State, for example. But you got to have those moments more often to just have more consistency. And that's really what's going to come down to the offensive consistency, which from a baseline perspective, until further notice, I'm just not going to put very much trust in at this time. Now, I do think that they do win the Montana State game. I think Montana State is an excellent FCS program, but I think Nevada has elevated themselves as well to the point where even in these games where they're playing against the better FCS teams in the country, I think that would still be considered a safe win for Nevada. So I am calling that. I think Nevada can win actually kind of comfortably against Montana State at this time. And I also think that they do have a benefit of playing against a couple of CUSA teams in the non-conference as well, whether it's Western Kentucky, which I think Western Kentucky going to be highly regarded in the CUSA. I think there's a lot of consensus out there picking Western Kentucky to possibly win the CUSA, depending on when the actual schedule does end up coming out. But Nevada is at home for that game, and Western Kentucky going to have to make a cross-country trip all the way out to Reno to play that game early in the season, mind you. And like first game, teams tend to be sloppier, and you're asking for a cross-country road trip. There's room there for Nevada to be able to pull that upset off against Western Kentucky, even though the Hilltoppers are probably going to be perceived as the better football team when we get into the August timeframe. Now, flip side of that, Nevada's got to travel across the country to play Mid-Tennessee, but I'm just really not buying Derek Mason right now. That is one of the wins that I do have, just from a pure baseline perspective. Utah, or not Utah, UTEP, I should say, on the road. That's another one that I'm eyeing as a potential victory. And then San Jose, who we just talked about literally in the last episode of the first look. We think that Nevada is a slightly better football team, and it's at home. So we do have that as a potential victory for Nevada as well. And alongside NIU, NIU could be a winnable game as well. But again, I think NIU, for as bad as they look on paper from a roster standpoint, they do have a solid football program. It was one of the better G5s before Thomas Hammock took over and brought him down to mediocrity, or even recently to very bad. So there is, there is a path for them to go into a bowl game, and I haven't even mentioned the Hawaiian game that's winnable. The Air Force game is also winnable as well. really only a few games here that I'm looking at where I don't really see them winning. Like North Dakota State, I just think the Bison are just a different animal for being a FCS implant from the Missouri Valley last year. UCLA, I honestly think is going to be a good team in the Big Ten. Going on the road to play against them will be a big ask. New Mexico going to be a Mountain West contender, and the same is going to be said about UNLV. So obviously, a few games on here that you're looking at, and yeah, probably Nevada isn't going to win those games, but there is a world that exists where they could have a breakout year under Jeff Chody and be a competitive threat in the Mountain West this year. But more likely, I think the progress is going to happen. I do think 4-8 is here with the possibility of going into a bowl game if the offensive consistency is there. Even if it isn't, I think this is an improved team from last year, and they're slowly but surely getting better year in and year out. So that's really what my thoughts are on Nevada at this time as the 100th and I believe, let me just make sure I double check this. Yeah, the 111th ranked team in college football. Definitely want to hear your thoughts are about this Nevada team going into this season. Am I too high or too low on these guys as of the springtime? Or general feedback as well. Definitely would appreciate your general feedback in the comments. But hey, in the meantime, it takes a lot of work to make these kind of videos for all 138 FBS programs. So any love that you can show, whether it's hitting that like button or hitting that subscribe button, if you love the content here on the channel as well, I would truly appreciate that. But in the meantime, until I come back with another first look team, I hope you guys enjoy what you've been doing. And this is Jake from College Football Red Zone signing off. Hope you guys are all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.